Hi, everybody. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, huh? Um, I wanted to come on. This won't be very long. A couple of things. One, I had this really weird dream. And also, there's a couple of things I really want to hit. The Social Security, I want you to know beyond a reasonable doubt what's going to happen. So I'm really going to do a deep dive because people are giving different information, and some of it is clickbait that they want you to listen to their show, but they're not really telling you what's going to happen. Also, about these attorneys and these law firms that Trump's trying to intimidate, I want to see what happens with that fight. It's very important that people can represent who they need to represent. He's trying to cut them out on federal contracts and stuff. You guys know the story. First of all, I'd like to thank my friend Greg. He sent me a couple of real cute children's books. My grandson is too old now, but I'm sure I'll have to ship this off to my little Asa, the one that had the brain surgery. So this is O is for ocean. Isn't that cute? Look at that. It's very beautiful pictures. And D is for dogs. So I'll thank you, Greg. I'll ship that off to Oregon and let you know how much they love it. Okay. Yeah, my Jaden, he wants some sort of a silver necklace. What is he, a gangster? What the heck is that? He's only 11. So for Easter, we're not doing candy here anymore. Everybody's too grown. Nobody cares. So, but I asked Nicole, what do you think he'd like? And she showed me this, like a chain, like men wear. My long hair is getting longer, you guys. Hold on one second. It's really getting long. Okay, there you go. So I got a lot of comments about the hair. Thank you very much. A lot of you guys like it. I don't know how long I'll keep it. I'm just doing it for fun right now. It does make me look different. I wake up in the morning like, who's that? Oh, that's me. Oh, but it is weird sleeping on it because it's long. You can wash your hair, you can do everything. So it's not very troublesome. Okay, so let me tell you about the dream. It was actually an early morning dream because I woke up at 4 something this morning and I fed the dogs and had my cup of coffee. And then I was a little bit tired and I thought I'd lay down for a little bit and went to sleep. And I had a dream that I was sitting in like a cove area. There was a couple of tall, like hotel buildings next to me. I've seen this area before. I think I've dreamt about this area before. So there's this little cove and the ocean is out there and it's coming in and nobody's with me. It's just me. And then there's other people around. A lot of people were from India, is what I can remember. And they were sitting around and enjoying themselves. It wasn't packed. And all of a sudden, while I'm sitting there looking at the ocean, thinking, how beautiful is that? A plane, like a Cessna, came over one of the top of the hotel buildings and plummeted into the Pacific Ocean. Boom. And I mean, straight down, disappeared. So I'm like, holy cow. So I'm thinking the surfers and other people would run out to see if they could get bodies. And nobody's, trying to go out there. It was gone. No pieces, nothing coming up to the surface. So I'm thinking, oh my God. And I remember I didn't have a phone. Somehow I managed to get this woman's phone and I called 911 and the person answered had a very thick Indian accent. I said, there's a plane, a light plane just dived straight into the ocean. And they were asking if I could see anybody, was anybody coming up? And I said, no. And then I looked and coming up to the shore was a big old black bull, big bull walking up, like coming up to the shore. I was like, whoa, now was a bull in, was a bull in that plane? I mean, it was huge. And then behind it was what do you call him? A ewe or ewe? A big sheep with a black face, but it was big, it wasn't small. And they were both one, the black bull was in front, the sheep was behind it. It wasn't small, but it was smaller than the black bull. I was like, holy cow. So I woke up and I was telling my daughter about the dream. And then I suddenly said, you know what that means, don't you? And she said, no, what? Black bull is the market. It's something to do with the market, something to do with the crashing of the market. Now let's see, what did the market do today? Before I go on. 715 points. Tesla lost almost 10 points. Yeah, he came on today, Trump did, and he was very nice to the press, talking sweetly. When he talks sweetly, he's in trouble. I'm telling you right now, he's usually trying to kiss you know what. Oh, no, that's a very good question. Actually, that's very good. I'm very glad you. He never talks like that. So anyway, he talked to the he talked to the Canada, the new guy in Canada. Oh, he's a wonderful guy. We had an excellent, but he didn't mention anything about the tariffs. So that means they're still on. And I'm telling you, this guy just made an announcement on social media, the new prime minister, that basically the US is out. They're done with them. And I'd be curious, the guy hasn't said, I haven't seen anything, send it to me if you do. But he hasn't said, oh, yes, I had a nice talk with. No. And by the way, the market didn't really, all of a sudden rally. Because if he just said we had a discussion and decided, yeah, we don't need no stinking tariffs. No, it wasn't what he said, he's saying it was, okay? Just like when they said, sir, what about the 7.7 earthquake in Taiwan? He said, yes, I've contacted those people. I could tell by the look on his face that he was lying. I'm sure Taiwan will turn around and say, no, we never heard from him. Yes, of course, I've talked to. No, you haven't. Give us a name of who you talked to. He hasn't talked to nobody. He lies about everything, and usually the people will come back and say, we never had a word from him. I'm so sorry, but that's who he is. So this market dropping is really good. No, it's not going to be as bad as 2008, but it's going to drop significantly. That dream I had was saying it's going to crash. There's going to be a part where it crash. He might try to swim back. He might say, well, I've decided so-and-so is writing me, telling me, please, please. And he lies. And I've decided, I'll probably reverse that or whatever he's going to do. Okay, so just know that my friend Daniel told me last night that now I just lost, he was sort of chubby. He's the one that brought the tariffs in. I just went blank on his name, but I can see him. He's the one that caused the crash of the stock right before when he got out. He was a terrible president. And apparently Trump thought he was fantastic. McKinley. So we'll look him up, you guys. Let's check out the history. Maybe Trump is reincarnated from McKinley. But anyway, so Tesla's down to 263. It was down to 230 something a month or so ago. But it's going to keep dropping. It's going to keep dropping. And there was a leaked tape. You can hear Elon talking, telling Trump it's over. It's getting ready to fall. What's that piece of something? Probably my lunch. That's what I like about longer hair. You can collect all your food products. Well, yeah, it's something. It's going to fall. The stock market's going to fall. Well, we talked about this before, but that's okay because he needs to learn. The people that are behind him will have to finally change, and they'll change when he hurts their pockets. So did you see that Elon was on getting interviewed and sitting there saying like he's really helping the American people? No, you are not. And they're going to do another mass layoff coming up. Didn't say where. We'll look at that. Let's look at the layoffs. That's such a shame. And he could care less about good people losing their jobs. There's no program to help people find other jobs. They're not trying to make this a good transfer so people who've worked in the same place forever. No, they're not. They're just like, bye, you're gone. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about, I want to look at the future layoffs. I want to look at this attorney fight, and I want to look at Social Security, and also take a look at my community page because I talked about recalls. This guy, I don't know where he finds it. If you shop at Aldi or Target, be sure to look at it. I don't shop at any one of those places. But there's recalls on cheese that has metal in it. There's recalls on all kinds of stuff. So take a look, see. Protect yourself. If I get more of those, I'll post them. Okay. Let's look at Social Security. Now, there's a lot of back and forth. They get pressured and switched, if you'll notice. Before it was supposed to be, we're firing all these people, we're cutting down the phone service. They're still saying they don't want you to have a paper check, but they're giving it more time that you can switch over. But they were just blatantly, to hell with you. They're going to hire some of those people back, trust me, from Social Security. Let's take a look at Social Security. And by the way, even when this guy is yapping away, psychically, in my soul energy, I just feel tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, keep destroying. What's his name? Elon Musk. The American people have spoken. Like he wants to get rid of the judges because they're interfering with the American people. Well, yeah, there's a lot of stupid people out there that voted for Trump, but now they're all changing their minds. I changed my mind. Okay. Social Security. And somebody just wrote that Social Security actually got a lot more money than it put out in 1990 something through something. And Congress took that money and used it. They taken from, it's like we're their piggy bank. They're taking from Social Security all the time, then try to act like, yeah, it's not an entitlement. Okay, so here we go. No need getting upset because this too shall pass. That's the only hit I keep getting every time I see this. And now they're talking about taking over. Well, they're taking over the Kennedy Center and some sort of museum. And they want to get rid of anybody that's Black, that's pictures up at the museum. And it's like, you know what? Do what you need to do. Don't destroy anything because we'll be putting it back up. The only thing we'll destroy are any pictures of that Trump bit. You see his family's not coming around. They just are cringing. They know he's sick. I just heard that. Somebody just whispered in my ear. They know he's sick and they're nervous about him just totally imploding. Like walking out in his underwear or something, talking to everybody. What can I tell everybody? It's definitely evil what they're planning. Okay. A lot of moving around and lying in battlefields. There'll be some lawsuits. People who are sick or need disability will be affected the most. Ooh, the karmic star, that's good. Don't worry, it will stay. Don't worry, we're going to battle, but we're going to win the battle, you guys. We're coming off the battlefield. Maybe even by July of this year or next year, but look at this, victory after burden. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely going before a judge. And he thinks the Supreme Court, I think he kind of knows now. He's not jumping to the Supreme Court like he did before, because I think he kind of knows he's not all in. Like even that gun thing that happened, normally they would vote in favor of the NRA and they said, nope, ghost guns. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. So, oh, by the way, our gal, Tish James, she's got a new one that goes with the predictions deck that's coming out. It's not out yet. And a regular deck that does just your regular Joe Blow. So you can't order them now, but as soon as you can, I'm gonna get them. But the new one she's getting complements the prediction deck with a little bit more detail. So we'll give it a whirl. You know, don't hurt. Don't hurt. Okay. So security. Please, I transfer. You know what's weird? Somebody wrote me. Remember, I said Putin has something to do with a submarine or something with a submarine? There's a new nuclear Russian submarine that was just the champagne bottle he hit in Russia. So, yeah, maybe he'll get an accident in that. Who knows? Uprising rebellion. Because listen, there was a couple of people on social media said the first time I don't get my check, watch what happens. You're going to see me on the news. You're messing with people's livelihoods. It's not very good, you guys. Underground in hiding. So they're lying. They're not telling us the truth. Hiding again. They're going to act like they were cheated, but they weren't. Change is coming. Okay. Consequences and damage done. I think the consequences is towards Trump. And listen, you saw how he stopped Elise Stefanik. I guess that's her name. I call her is it Stefanik or Stephanie or something? Anyway, they stopped that because they're afraid they're going to lose Florida. I'm telling you right now, that one guy, Wiel, he's up in the polls. He could very well win. And if they lose both seats, which they could very well lose because it isn't the red, if they're not the same old team like they were before. Trump thinks he has all this power because people adore him. Yeah, there's some people that adore him in the White House, like a clown show, and a lot of people with money, but that's only 1%. Your Joe Blows on the street, your people that need the Medicaid and need Social Security, they're not coming out to vote for him or for who he says to vote for. Remember, you guys, remember, and people were already it's so funny they voted him in again. You would think, how impossible could it be? Don't you remember what he did before? He was causing such chaos and people dying his first trek in the White House. And remember that there was no red wave because he said, and one person won that he sponsored, just one. And he was all upset about it, but he thinks he gets overkill. He thinks he's all that in a cup of tea. And he's not. He's just not. And it will come to upset him. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to tell you that I don't feel good about the car industry. If your car can work, I'm feeling, even if Trump tries to kiss everybody's butt and say, oh, I was just, doing this or that, I feel people, other nations saying, yeah, no. And then he's telling everybody, well, Tesla was built here. So you can buy a Tesla and it's not going to cost you. Oh yeah, it's going to cost. And then he said, if you buy a car from like Ford or Dodge, he'll let you deduct the interest rates from your taxes. He's desperate. But I just want to take a look at the car industry real quick, because a lot of you probably have family. Tell me about the car industry. Lies, deception. Interesting. Lies and deception. Why would you say that? Tell me about the car industry. Yeah, see, they're going to go through a real tight spot, just like I thought. Back and forth, 1 minute good, the next minute bad, some battling. I'd say by next year in May, things are leveling off. I just think he's going to turn around and try to stop that tariff thing, but it's still not a plus for him. He thinks if he turns it around or he changes his mind, y'all will love him again, but people won't trust him. Okay, so let's go. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So I did Social Security. I want to look at the attorneys that are fighting. There's that one attorney that made a deal with him. See, the thing is, you can't make a deal with the devil. He'll just keep going for the juggler. And I don't know if people have already quit that firm, but I'm feeling like he's saying that if I hadn't done this, we wouldn't have still be able to work. Because they said they weren't going to give him any more contracts, but they represented Trump people and the Democrats. So, but if you dared help somebody that was working against him, you're screwed. They're going to win the fight. They're going to win the fight. Some good news come April. There's a particular woman involved with this. Look at this, fall time, coming out of the Ten of Swords. He's just going against all decency, you guys. The karmic star, this is a fight that not only are we going to win, it's going to make people feel better about this nation. And he sold how many for $1 million or $1 billion? I can't remember. He sold citizenships. And for the Easter holidays, he wants to sell sponsorships for the White House. Where does that money go? You notice you're not getting any kind of records of where it goes. We're not getting any kind of records that Elon Musk is telling the truth about saving money. He just can say it and we're supposed to believe it. Oh yeah, well, I'm saving the America billions, but there's no proof. There's nothing that says this is true. This is unfortunate, but let me tell you, the economy is going to tank. And then they're going to be backtracking. They're going to try to act like, oh, actually. But in the meantime, they're sitting there eating like kings. He's going on his trips to his Mar-a-Lago. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So, did you see that Netanyahu pounded? Was it? He bombed somebody. I can't remember where it was. And he also bombed or killed Red Cross and ambulance drivers, and they buried their bodies and tried to hide them. Who does that? And you can't tell me all of Jerusalem thinks this is okay. But who does that? So I got to look at this SOB again. Sorry, you guys. Tell me about Netanyahu. Something with Putin and Netanyahu real close together. I don't know if they both taken as prisoner or what. Okay. Here we go. Yes. So what this is saying is our wishes will come true. Our wishes will come true, you guys. As terrible as this is, have faith. September is very strong here. Not that I'm good with time frames and coming out of feeling one piece of bad news after the other. And there are some Republicans and Democrats that don't want the 8.8 billion for arms to go to Israel. They want to stop it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Why do you keep wanting to give them arms when they're killing innocent people? Did you see that? Oh, it's so terrible. That man holding the decapitated head of his son, trying to kind of put it back together. It was terrible. And it's like now that he's in office, oh, we're not going to see much, you guys. I'm sure that that's been taken off X because they don't want any of you all to see it. So it's very sad. It's so sad. And it's how much longer do we have to put up with this? How much longer is this war going to go on? Netanyahu and Trump are like this. He's like, we're going to get this Gaza. We're going to build a nice hotel. He's not going to get nothing. A surprise attack against Israel. This could be Iran. And the government, politicians and government going up against Israel. The currency is going to go down. There's a lot of fake news. Controlled narrative, that's from him. Disaster wreckage. Societal collapse. I think something's going to happen to Israel, you guys. I hate to see more heartache, but evidence of a scandal. You know, he's been in, I think he was even part of the plan of the October 6th thing. New rules, policies, and laws. There's going to be a big hit with Israel. I don't know how I know this, but I just know it. And apparently, I was so shocked to hear the Israeli soldiers are very rude and mean and vicious towards Palestinians, you know, doing terrible things to them. And, you know, the enemy, whoever they are, that was hurting their people. This was a setup, and I don't know how to explain that to you. But it was almost like they say that he knew, that Netanyahu knew that this was going to happen. But they have paid, Gaza has paid in so much blood, it's not even funny. They're trying to actually get rid of all of them, but they're not going to be able to succeed. But the thing I worry about the most is these young people who live through this, and then they start to grow up, and then they become vicious too, just like in Afghanistan. You know, Russia came in and did all these terrible things, and they still couldn't win because Afghanistan was way smarter than them. But yeah, then they all keep fight, and they learn to fight. That's the first thing they do. All of you seen 300, right? With my Gerard Butler. And you teach your sons how to fight. So, let me see. So I guess that Vance went to Greenland and everybody was very stiff. He went to a military base with fellow Americans. Nobody was thrilled with him there. His wife was with him. And he proceeded to tell everybody, first of all, Canada would never win a trade war with the United States. Yeah, whatever. Canada will do what they have to do to not have to deal with the United States. They will go without. Hell yeah, they're going to win. And they had a standoff, Carney and Trump, as far as who was going to call first, and Trump called first. And then he tried to talk and said, oh, yes, we had a wonderful conversation. He would have loved to have said, oh, yes, he was calling me, and I finally got back to him. And Fox News host Larry Kudlow, who used to work for Trump, got on this morning on Fox News and started reaming Trump for ruining the economy. Your Honor, I rest my case. I rest my case. So, and Marco Rubio backtracks and admits that Venezuelans sold to El Salvador were not necessarily members of the Trandi Arguaya. Rubio said the U.S. sent a combination of people who were not productive to the United States. I say you're not productive to the United States and you need to go. So you see the craziness going on. Now, apparently Trump's numbers are still a little bit high because people are really happy that he's just shipping off, but he was shipping off women too. And El Salvador said, oh, hell no, we're not taking them. But, El Salvador is getting paid. We're paying them to take these people. But don't worry, these people, I've told you before, I can't tell you when, but I do see they'll be coming back and everybody's going to have a book for sale. Oh, and then Trump has set up an electronic mailbox for corporations to ask him for exemptions to the Clean Air Act. The exemptions would allow companies to pollute the air with mercury, which can cause brain damage and birth defects. So J.D. Vance is talking about, these people don't do anything for Greenland. Canada can't beat us in the wars. They're not going to be able to touch Greenland. They're not going to be able to touch Panama. I'm telling you right now, they're desperate. I heard that Putin's even going to think about getting in, but they are flat broke. That guy that I like to watch on YouTube from Russia, well, he's not living in Russia, but very thick Russian accent. He's talking about how horrible it is. Potatoes are expensive. Everything's expensive. So we don't wish harm to anybody. But I will tell you, it's still a little bit stressful. I'm sorry, you guys, still some pain. I'll try to come on here to assure you, especially when I get a hit. That dream I had about the plane crashing and then the black bull coming out of the water is definitely based on a bull market. But I definitely think we're going to go through a bit of a ride with him. And he was awfully nice to the media, which he never is. So that usually means he knows he's in trouble. And they pulled Elise Stefanik. They pulled her because they are afraid of losing Florida. Everybody says, oh, now Florida is going to be Republican. There's one guy for sure that's going to take one of those seats. And so they were like, holy cow, what if they take all three? Then we're done. So they had to stop it. Okay, you guys? But don't worry. Things are just going to keep changing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just, and don't travel, especially if you got brown skin. There was a woman who had her passport come back from an 8-day trip, and they looked at her and told her she had to go to another line, and she had to explain where she was. She had she was American, but her skin was a little darker. And so she told them, showed the passport and stuff. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. They are looking for anything they can to just grab you and export kick you out. It's terrible, you guys. So if you can, don't go anywhere. Just stay here, batten down the hatch, unless you can get the hell out. There was a doctor or some professor or something left America and went to Canada. Hell yeah, I don't blame them. But my kids are here. I can't really leave. And let them take me. I'll cause such stress. They'll wish to God they hadn't messed with me. As crazy as I am. So anyway, I shouldn't talk like that, but I would just be, you guys would be, my YouTube people would be reposting. Linda's in jail because she mouthed off. I don't feel they're as worried about the YouTube people. I don't know why, but I just don't feel it. But thank God we have YouTube, right? We can say what we feel, entertainment purposes only, but we're just trying to give people hope. Okay? So I love you all. I'll catch you. I need to do prayers. I'll probably do those tomorrow. I'm getting so many prayers. I can't keep up with all the mail, and you guys know I'm so sorry. Back in the old days when it was just a few of us, but it's just getting booked. Okay, you guys, I love you. Cheers.